My name is Mark Frohnmayer. I'm the founder of Arcimoto. The initial problems we were trying to solve, really three. We wanted to provide something from the very beginning that is an order of magnitude more efficient with space and with energy and materials. If you look at the way people drive every day, it's going to work, going to the grocery store, going to the gym, going out on a date, whatever it is. It's almost all one, sometimes two people with a relatively small amount of stuff. And so that's really the use case that we've been very focused on, is how do we take 90% of the vehicle trips out there and do them in a much, much more efficient way. And at the same time, we wanted to provide that solution in a way that is actually affordable to the mass market. Until you can get into a price range that ordinary mortals can afford, you're really not moving the needle on the fundamental problem of environmentally sustainable transportation. And then I think the third thing that we discovered along the way is that if you do those other two things right, that you also make something that's just incredibly fun to drive. The statistics on driving are striking. About 76% of vehicle trips are taken alone. Another about 10% are with just one other person. So that's 85% of vehicle trips. They're still taken in a vehicle that can carry 5 to 7 people 300 miles, but it's typically one person driving alone, on average 33 miles a day. And one of the nice aspects of the Arcimoto is that you can look at it and suddenly go, oh, actually, this will get me to work. This will get me to the grocery store. If I just think about how I drive on a regular basis, and it's affordable enough that I could get one of these and still keep my car for those rare times when I need it. Now, our thesis is that you're going to get an Arcimoto, you're going to keep your car, you're going to realize that you haven't driven your car in 3.5 weeks, and that you've been having a joyful time ripping around town on the Arcimoto every day, and that it actually makes sense to just let go of your car, and if you need that extra capability, to rent it on demand, either from Enterprise or from Zipcar or from Car2Go, or any, really look at the car as this sort of extraordinary device that you use once a month, twice a month, but that your daily trips are all being done in a radically more efficient vehicle. The design constraints from the beginning have been about really two pieces: cost and efficiency. And wanting to deliver something that is incredibly efficient at a low cost that still serves the everyday driver. If you look at the iteration of our vehicle prototypes, you can really see how the thinking evolved along the way. The biggest change that we made in one shot was ditching the automotive seating format and switching more to like what a city scooter would have. And that's what gave us a product that was comfortable for two people, had room for storage, great dual motor front wheel drive, low center of gravity, but also parked in the space that it takes to park a motorcycle. We have seen interest from everything from delivery fleets to vacation rental type fleets to mom and pop shops that rent out scooters in the Hawaiian Islands to everything in between on the fleet side. Uber wants a less expensive, more efficient vehicle so that their drivers can take home a bigger portion of the paycheck than they're currently spending on fuel, maintenance, and the vehicle itself. And so when you look at something like Uber Eats, if you're out there picking up lunch and taking it somewhere across town, especially in an urban environment where your parking is severely constrained, this vehicle lets you pull into the maneuvering zone between two cars that are parallel parked, get out, walk into the restaurant, pick up your delivery, get back on the vehicle, go to where you're dropping it off. Along the way, you're able to make great progress through traffic. You can move down parking lanes that full-size cars can't. You can make lights that other cars won't. As we get into a production stage, I think we all see a longer term vision that would include, really leveraging that for their drivers. Within 2 years, multiple manufacturers will have autonomous ready vehicles that can do take you from door to door. So the autonomous drive is right around the corner. So what we see as sort of the grand intersection is the autonomous driven vehicles, the electric drive, and fundamentally more efficient vehicle platforms. And really it's been that third area that has been Arcimoto's focus from day one. Along the way, we have really done some core innovations in the electric vehicle drivetrain, a new dual motor gearbox backbone, new focus on the electric vehicle battery. And certainly we're making a platform that is from day one going to be autonomous capable. But really when you look at integrating all of those capabilities, what you have is finally a transportation system where you hit a button on your phone, an incredibly efficient little electric vehicle pulls up, takes you where you want to go. And as a result, you have dramatically fewer overall vehicles in service. You can begin to reclaim parking lots, parking lanes. The lanes necessary for vehicle travel become smaller, and then that opens up much more of the road for bicycles, for pedestrians, for other more efficient modes of transportation. The city of the 21st century has the potential to be a garden compared to the city of the 1900s. If you look at the traditional automotive industry through the lens of kind of disruption theory, disruptive innovation, it really makes a lot of sense that they're taking, they're sort of slow playing their entry into it. For decades and decades and decades, they've been moving in really the opposite direction, culminating with the invention of the sport utility vehicle, which is the polar opposite of the Arcimoto. If you look at what's happening at the high end of the market, Tesla is just eating everybody's lunch in the luxury car market space. And with the Model 3, I would expect that is going to be much more so. So you'll have all of the luxury car makers, all of the high-end car makers, I think are going to very much regret that they were not earlier movers in this space. If you looked at Tesla in the early days, the chorus of naysayers was quite strong. You can go back and watch Who Killed the Electric Car and the industry pundits who said, Tesla is toast over and over and over and over again. Now what you see is a company out there that has more than 400,000 reservations. They're jockeying with GM and Ford for the most valuable car company in the country. We have a huge amount of respect here at Arcimoto for what Tesla has done in terms of educating the world that the electric drive can be awesome, that it can be the best vehicle experience you've ever had. Our goal has simply been to say, okay, what is the next order of magnitude of efficiency gain? What's the next way that we can really shrink the footprint of the vehicle platform itself to deliver that amazing experience to a much wider audience of potential buyers? Really, for the first 8 years of the company's existence, we did not push on reservations, and I think we had a couple hundred folks who said, I'm in for whatever you guys end up building, whenever you guys end up building it. Since then, we've seen almost a tenfold increase in pre-orders. Really, and to me, that's been one of those elements that's very much confirmed the product thesis behind Generation 8. Someone who buys Arcimoto stock is investing in a few things. They're certainly investing in a vision, a radically different transportation system. They're investing in a product vision that's a lot more fun, a lot more nimble, a lot more clean. And they're investing in a team. They're investing in a really awesome team. They're investing in people who are dedicating their lives to making a real solution for the world. This is an incredibly exciting time for Arcimoto. The launch of this public offering coincides with the delivery for the first time of Arcimoto vehicles to real customers and begins our push to production at ever-increasing manufacturing scale. So it's, for me, it's certainly the most exciting time in the history of the venture to date, and it's just it's a perfect time to jump on board.